We're going to look at how to make rectangular borders in a number of different ways. The quickest and easiest way is going to be to, come on over to your Create toolbar, which is this toolbar over here. If you can see my mouse, it's right over here. I'm going to click on this rectangle. Now, if I just want a rectangular border, then when this little Create Rectangle box appears, I'm going to click on this area and click on the arrow next to area and select line. And I can change the color here if I want, so I'm going to go ahead and we'll just change that to a lighter blue. Okay, now all I have to do is place a left click, and if I hold the Control key on my keyboard, I can make a rectangle the size I want. When I'm done, I just place another left click and there's my rectangle. So then I can press Escape, and you can see right now it's a double running line. So I can just come down to here and I can say, make that a satin border. And if I want to control the width here, then this is going to be at a default of 3. I can just simply go into my property settings. If you watch my mouse, or it's this little icon here, or press the space bar on your keyboard, and that'll open that up. And here's my satin settings, but what I want is the line settings, and the line settings are going to let me change this width to whatever I want it to be. Okay, so that's the quick way to make a satin border. Okay, now there are other ways to make a satin border depending on what you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and select the rectangle again, and we'll just hold the Control key and left click and then move my mouse to the size I need and left click again and press Escape. Now I can make a 2-color border by coming up to Stitch, making sure that this is selected and flashing, and come up to Stitch and create an outline from area edges. And I can say satin border with the width of 5, and I'm going to change the color before it generates here. And there's my satin rectangular border. Okay, now that's also still going to be a line. So those are a couple of ways to do that. Now let me get rid of this border. If you need to create the satin border for applique, you can make the rectangle, right click on it to select it, and then simply go into your property settings either with the space bar on your keyboard or clicking on the icon, and go over to applique. And again, here's your applique settings, and how wide do you want this to be? We'll say 6, and there's an outline applique border. It's going to put the stops in on your machine, so you have a placement, a tack down, and your cover. So that's how you would make rectangular borders.